Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. In this video we're gonna be finishing the Glock 17 magazine. Okay, so with this workflow we're gonna be using Zbrush for the high poly. After modeling in Fusion 360, we take that same model into Zbrush and we start polishing the model to create a cleaner and quicker high poly asset. And here you're watching me bring piece by piece into Zbrush and making each high poly for each part. And of course, after that, we bring the decimated mesh into Maya so we can continue onto the low poly. So after completing the high poly and naming it properly, we now start with the low poly. For this specific asset, since I've been doing it mostly for getting used to the workflow for the Fusion 360 to Zbrush to Maya workflow, I decided not to worry so much about getting it as clean as possible and as perfectly optimized as possible. I was just focused on getting it properly cleaned up for texturing and for baking. So that's why a lot of it's still super dense. Also, it's just the magazine. There's no Glock, so I was also like keeping in mind that the renders were gonna be just the magazine, so I was more forgiving about that. So yeah, for the most part here I'm just cleaning up the model and getting it ready for UVs. For example, here I'm closing the holes because I know later in texturing I'm gonna do like the pure black trick to make it look like there's something inside, even though there's nothing. Here I'm just doing the drawing an edge to delete most of the inside because you're never gonna see the inside. So yeah, that's mostly what I'm doing, just cleaning up everything and thinking about what I'm gonna do in the texturing and what I'm not gonna use. So yeah. Okay, so now here we are at the texturing stage. I'm missing one of the recordings where I do the bake in the start of the texturing, but for the most part the bakes were extremely simple. I didn't even separate the parts. I baked them just as they are because this is just practice. I'm just getting used to the workflow. So and yeah, the texturing part that we're missing is just the base materials, and I created the grain just with some simple noise. So from this point onwards, it's mostly like the actual texturing. Uh, and yeah, I kept the video like extremely rough. There's some parts where you're gonna see me like just paint and paint and paint and paint and then remove everything, because I was just experimenting and getting used to texturing. And like, I don't know, I didn't have like a plan. I did have reference. I always have reference, and I always try to texture what I see on the reference. But for the most part, I knew this was not gonna be published on my portfolio or anything, so I just had like fun. Um, and there you just saw me do like some color variation, because on the reference, in some reference you could see like some tints of red, green, purple, and you could even argue that maybe it's the camera and not the magazine, but I just decided to add it. And yeah, for the most part, it's just adding what I see on the reference and messing around with the layers, and of course like just practicing and trial and error. And I know this can be like way more better, but that's why we do it, right? So to get better. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the texturing. I just wanted to mention that after I stopped recording the texturing process and while I was doing the renders, I came back to remove some stuff and tweak some stuff that I didn't like while I was rendering it. Most of the changes were on the scratches. I made them more subtle and other ones more prominent and whatnot. Maybe I added some more grime and dirt. I don't even remember what I did afterwards, but yeah. So I also added that ghost paint that you saw in the renders, which was like pretty simple. Like I literally just used a stencil for that one. But yeah, if you're interested and you don't know how, you can tell me in the comments and I can show you how you would add text. I can even use the same magazine to show you how you would add text to it and make it look like integrated. But yeah, that was pretty much it after I stopped recording. For the renders, I didn't record the renders because they were extremely simple. I literally just do like simple lighting and quick renders. So that's what you're seeing on screen right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment down below and I'll try to upload something to help you out. Or you can join the Discord and we can always have a chat there and you can see like screenshots from my work in progress before I post the videos and whatnot. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.